Decreased desire for sexual activity in males. What causes it and what is the treatment? Let's talk about this topic in this video. I'm Dr. Praveen Tripathi. I'm a consultant psychiatrist and sexual disorders specialist. This is often a neglected topic when we talk about sexual disorders in males. We talk about erectile dysfunction, we talk about premature ejaculation, but lack of desire is something that we don't really talk about. And it's unfortunate because the data says that around 15 to 20% of men do have this problem. The medical term for this problem is HSDD, hypoactive sexual desire disorder. So, how do we define HSDD? Basically, significant lack of sexual thoughts, sexual fantasies, and sexual desire in general is what is called as HSDD, and we call it an illness when it is causing significant distress to the person and has been continuing for at least 6 months. So this is the clinical definition for HSDD. Now, what are the factors that lead to the development of HSDD? It has been found that in almost 90% of cases, HSDD is secondary. What do we mean by that? It means that there is some other illness that is leading to hypoactive sexual desire disorder. And it is not difficult to understand because you tend to repeat only those activities that are pleasurable in nature. And it applies to sex too. If sex is pleasurable, if sex is satisfactory, people want to have more of it. But if because of any XYZ reason, the sex is no longer pleasurable or it is a cause of embarrassment or humiliation, people tend to avoid it. This is exactly what happens in people with erectile dysfunction or premature ejaculation. People who have ED or PME tend to feel very insulted because of the problem, and this remains true irrespective of the duration of the relationship. In my practice, I have seen patients who are 50 years old or in their late 40s who have been married for 20 or more years. Even they, when they have difficulties like erection problem or early discharge, they get very demotivated. And the thing they say is, what would my wife think of me? I got really embarrassed in front of my wife. So this male psyche thing, where any sexual problem is related to or it is equated with lack of masculinity, is a driving force. So in 90% of cases, if a person has any sexual disorder like ED or PME, that could lead to the development of HSDD or hypoactive sexual desire disorder. But that is not the only thing. There are many other factors that may contribute to the decreased levels of desire. When we talk about these factors, we divide them into biological factors and psychological factors. Both are equally important, but in a particular individual, one of them may be playing the leading role. So when you talk about the biological factors, the most important factor is the age. It has been found that as we age and as we cross 40s, the sexual desires tend to go down. And with every decade, the sexual desire continue their journey southwards. So as the age increases, particularly after 40, the sexual desire decreases. Another important factor is the physical health. It has been found that people who have medical illnesses like hypertension, like diabetes, like cardiac conditions, all of them tend to have lower sexual desire in comparison to those who are physically healthy. And further, if somebody has these medical conditions and they are not well controlled, the desire tend to go further down. So this is the second factor, biological factor. The third factor, perhaps quite important, is hormonal factors. Now it is well known that levels of testosterone tend to have a correlation with the sexual desire. When testosterone levels become too less, the sexual desire also go down. Now one thing that must be kept in mind is the range of the serum testosterone level, which is considered as normal. It is quite a wide range. So two individuals, both normal, may have quite different testosterone levels. Sometimes patients who come to us, they are very worried that their levels are on the bottom side of the range. That is not a problem. As long as you are in the range, it should be fine. But if you go beyond the range, if the levels are lesser than what is considered as the normal range, then it might be a problem. Testosterone is important, but it's not that it's the only hormone important. There are other hormones that too play a role. For example, prolactin. serum prolactin, if it is increased, is known to have a significant impact on the sexual desire, and it can also cause other sexual disorders like erectile dysfunction too. Apart from testosterone and prolactin, we have other hormones like luteinizing hormone. Luteinizing hormone is the hormone that drives the secretion of testosterone. If the levels of that hormone are deranged, even that could be a cause. So these are some of the hormones that play a role in the sexual desire. Another important biological factor is the medications. There are many medications which can decrease sexual desire as a side effect. Some of them common ones include antidepressants, antipsychotics, medications that are used in the treatment of hypertension, high blood pressure, some of the medications that are used for cardiac conditions, some medications that are used for hair fall. All these medications can cause decreased desire as a side effect. The good thing is it is not so difficult to fix this problem. For example, talking about the antidepressants and antipsychotics, there are other medications from the same group which do not cause sexual side effects. So when we see a patient who is having decreased desire because of a medication, we usually replace it, or else we can add another medication that nullifies that side effect. So that thing can be taken care of. Apart from these biological factors, psychological factors also play a very important role. The first one being the diagnosis of depression or anxiety. If somebody is having depression, the desire for almost everything goes down, and sexual functioning or sexual desire is also a part of that. If you're not feeling like doing anything, you would not feel like doing even having sexual activity. So depression is one of the common reasons. Anxiety is another common reason. And as far as depression and sexual disorders are concerned, we see a bidirectional association here. Depression decreases sexual desire, and if somebody is having decreased sexual desire, he is also likely to have depressive symptoms. So there's a bidirectional association here. Apart from medical disorders like depression or anxiety, there are other psychological factors. One of them being the relationship. How well is the relationship between the partners? It's very important to understand that sex is a very intimate thing. To have sexual activity, it is important that you have that connection, the psychological connection with your partner. Sometimes young married couples come to me and they say that usually the wife has this complaint that the husband is not so much interested in having sexual activity. When I ask the husband, he says that there are so many fights and the fights are so often that I don't feel like having it. And that is true. You cannot fight with the same person in the morning hours and have the sexual activity with the same person in the evening hours. It doesn't just work that way. This is also one of the reasons why a large number of people are not able to have sexual activity when they try it with a commercial sex worker or a prostitute, because you don't have any connection with that person. So it is quite likely that you may not have a good erection or you don't feel like having it. So having a good relationship is extremely important if you want to have a good sexual relationship. Then there are other factors like previous sexual experiences. Now this is very important for younger individuals who do not have sex as frequently, or rather than saying younger individuals, I should rather say people who are not in a stable relationship and who have sex infrequently. So what happens in them is that, say they had the sexual activity for the first time or for the first 2 times, and it did not go as well, and the partner made some comment like you don't get good erections, or the partner makes a comment on the size of the penis, or something of that sort. So if the initial sexual experience is not so good, then the person does not feel like indulging in the same activity again and starts avoiding. That may be another reason for decreased desire. And this is again very important as far as sexual activity with commercial sex workers is concerned. Many a times commercial sex workers make a comment on the size or the erection or the overall performance, and that thing stays with people, and they are like that, I could not perform as good with the sexual worker, so the same thing would continue when I try to have sexual relationship with the girlfriend or the wife. So previous sexual experiences also play a very important role. Another very important psychological factor is the body image. Now there are many people who are not happy with their body. They think they are not attractive enough. And with all this commercialization where we are shown the bodies of the actors and the models, well chiseled body, and six pack abs and all those things, people start believing at some level that is how everybody should look like. They forget that those models and actors do the same thing. That is their primary job, to look good. And if you are doing some other work, you cannot spend that much time to look good or to be in shape. But people start believing that that is how they should look, that is how everybody should look, and they develop inferiority, they develop body image disturbances, they start thinking that they don't look attractive enough. And if they don't look attractive enough is the thought that comes in their mind, the corollary is the partner would not find me attractive. And then again the same thing, that thought decreases the desire to indulge in any kind of physical intimacy with the partner. That is another important reason. So as you must have understood by now, there may be multiple factors, there are varied factors that may lead to decreased desire, but 90% of cases it is secondary to another sexual problem. Now, before we talk about the treatment, we must understand the pathway, the pathophysiology of decreased desire. Now, it is all dependent upon the chemicals in the brain. Whenever there is a sexual cue, whether you listen to something erotic, whether you watch pornography, or whether you are with your partner in a particular situation, so these are the cues. And when these things happen, there is release of certain chemicals, particularly norepinephrine and oxytocin in your brain. When these two chemicals get released, they lead to activation of some other chemicals like melanocortins and dopamine. When those get released, the person starts feeling sexual desire. So there is a whole chemical pathway that leads to desire. And anything that interrupts this pathway would lead to decreased desire. Another important thing to remember is when a man ejaculates, has an orgasm, there are certain chemicals released in the brain like endocannabinoids and serotonin. Now these are the chemicals which decrease the excitement. That is the reason why immediately after orgasm you don't feel like having another sexual activity, you don't feel like having sex again, because there are certain chemicals getting released in the brain which is decreasing this whole pathway of excitement. So these are the chemicals involved. Now coming to the last part, which is the management. Now management is of course dependent upon the cause. If the person is having erectile dysfunction or premature ejaculation, we have to fix it. If somebody is having ED, we use PDE5 inhibitors, we use certain nutraceuticals to fix that. If somebody is having PME, we use SSRIs or TCAs with nutraceuticals to fix that. Once the primary problem is taken care of and once the sex becomes pleasurable, the desire tends to come back. If the problem is not one of other sexual disorders, then we have to fix the other things. For example, if somebody is having low testosterone level, that needs to be fixed. In this regard, it must be remembered that if somebody is having low testosterone level, simply going for a testosterone shot, injection of testosterone is not the solution. First of all, you will have to find out what is causing it. So what is suggested is go and meet an endocrinologist, meet a hormone doctor. They'll find out what is causing this problem and then they will help you in fixing it. If there are medications involved, we have to replace those medications with substitutes, or we have to add something to nullify the side effects. We tell patients to to get in better physical health. If they have say high blood pressure or diabetes, use medications to control that. Quit smoking, quit alcohol, quit drugs. And if there are psychological factors involved, then counseling is done. Often the female partner is also made a part of the treatment. In fact, that is highly recommended. And we have to tell the couple that what is normal sexual activity. Many times they have unrealistic expectations. Many people, both men and women, think that a man should be ready to have sex 24/7. That is not true. It doesn't work that way. Many men have this myth that their sexual functioning should be exactly the same as it was in their teenagers, their teens or their 20s. Again, that is not true. Things change. If the relationship is the problem, we have to fix that. So basically, depending upon the cause of the problem, we have to fix it. And many times we use medications like bupropion and some other medications to increase the desire in some cases. Basically, not only for hyperactive sexual desire disorder, for all the sexual disorders, what is seen is that once a person develops a disorder, he tends to get trapped into that vicious cycle. There is a sexual issue. Because of the sexual issue, the sexual activity becomes unpleasurable or a source of embarrassment. The more the person becomes embarrassed, the more is the increase in the performance anxiety. The more is the performance anxiety, the difficult it becomes to have normal sexual activity, and this is a self-fulfilling cycle. So many times we add medications, we add support measures to break this cycle. We want the person to get into a positive cycle where he's having a good sexual activity, getting pleasure out of it, and feels like having it again. This is a good positive cycle. So that is how we treat these patients. So guys, the whole purpose of creating this channel, MeSolves, is to impart or tell people about the scientific evidences, the scientific knowledge about sexual disorders and their treatment. And if you like this kind of content, please join us. Thank you.